Hey, it's Arcsecond. In this video, we'll cover the 7.11 patch notes and how it affects the tier list. So starting off, we have Rek'Sai. We haven't seen as much Rek'Sai lately after some of the nerfs she received, but her kit definitely fits the jungle well, and we have her A tier. So let's see what they changed. Her health growth stat is down by 5. Her passive was changed to now her basic attacks and all of her abilities grant 25 Fury, which is really nice for her E ability, but the health regeneration was cut from 450 to 190 at max rank, definitely hurting her sustain. For Queen's Wrath, the bonus attack damage ratio was doubled, but the base damage was cut from 55 to 35 at max rank. A 0.4 bonus attack damage ratio was also added to Prey Seeker, but the damage type was changed from magic to physical. This is a slight nerf, but overall pretty good. Broad, the base damage was lowered at max rank from 200 to 110, a pretty decent nerf, but the displacement was changed, so now the primary target is knocked up for 1 second, and the other enemies are knocked back. But the other enemies aren't granted immunity, only the primary target. The immunity duration is up at max rank by 2 seconds, but you'll still be able to knock them up, which is a decent change. And then Rek'Sai can also interact with plants now, but I believe she becomes unburrowed even after using them. For Furious Bite, we have the damage was changed from a total attack damage ratio to a base plus bonus attack damage ratio. Definitely pushing her, or incentivizing her to build heavier AD items. And her Burrowed Tunnel was changed. Cooldown is lowered by 4 seconds at max rank, really nice, and the re-entry cooldown was lowered all the way down to 2 seconds, definitely giving her a decent amount of mobility later on, especially in team fights. Could be pretty strong. For Void Rush, biggest change, so now they're changing it so she can mark her target, and then after a slight delay, jump to them, and it deals quite a bit of damage, 400 at max rank, and it goes down to 60 seconds at max rank, and it has a 1.6 bonus attack damage ratio, and it does missing health. It's definitely a good execution tool, but she won't have that global ultimate anymore, where she was one of the best split pushers, and she could get quick resets. So they're pushing her into building heavier AD items and going into more of an assassin playstyle. But Rek'Sai farms and clears really efficiently, so she'll be able to get the farm she needs for some of these more aggressive items. So I think this could work out, but I'm still not sure if it was quite good enough since some of her early numbers are still lower. So we'll have to see how it actually works out. So I think we're going to keep her at A tier, but this definitely looks like a fun way to play her now. For Kindred, another jungler who was pushed out slightly out of the meta, and let's see what they did to Kindred. For attack damage growth stat is up, nice change, and the big change is the passive. So the Kindred basic attacks no longer deal percent of the target's current health, but rather stacks will give 75 attack range at 4 stacks and an extra 25 every 4 stacks thereafter. And Q was given, now grants attack speed an additional 5% per stack, W grants an additional 0.5% current health damage per stack, and E does missing health damage now. So overall, I think this is a really nice passive change. Definitely rounds out the champion's kit. So yeah, for the Q, and the dash speed was upped on the Q. Really nice change. Damage was changed from 0.2 total attack damage to 0.65 bonus attack damage, slight nerf. And for W, it's no longer a self-cast, but you pick the cast range, so you want to place it where you're likely going to be fighting. And also changed from 0.4 total attack damage to bonus attack damage ratio, but the damage type was changed from physical to magic. This part is really nice. Also pushing Kindred into building a little more AD. I think with the Q, Black Cleaver will probably be a good item for Kindred. For Mounting Dread, base damage was changed from 180 to 120, and the AD ratio was changed, or total attack damage ratio was changed from 0.2 to 0.8 bonus attack damage ratio. But the missile speed also increased by quite a lot, by 400. It's really nice. And it also, so now it crits. We'll have to see if this changes the champion's itemization at all. But I think overall these changes look really good. I think it will just round out Kindred's playstyle. And I'm looking forward to these changes. I think they could be pretty strong. Might even move the champion up to S already. Yeah, so we have 2 new junglers. Definitely look fun to play. For Malzahar, we've seen a good amount of this champion. It looks like they're pushing Malzahar slightly out of the support role. The mana cost is up on W, and it's changed from gaining stacks per second instead to, or per 16 seconds at max rank to gaining stacks per ability, or for casting at their abilities. But for the Voidling stats, there's a change that I thought was interesting. The squish, so turret and champion basic attacks now kill the Voidlings regardless of the amount of health they have. So I think this makes it a lot safer to lane against Malzahar, not being able to push you or deny you too much in lane. But we'll have to, since the champion's naturally pushing up to tower, we'll have to see how this actually affects the champion's playstyle though. But Call of the Void, the cast time is now down by point, or is cut in half, so making it a lot safer to cast the ability, but there's a delay now. But the ratio was up by 0.8. Same for Malefic Visions. So you're getting a decent amount of AP ratio here, and now Nethergrass also has a huge AP ratio, 1.15, and a pretty big base damage. The Null Zone was nerfed, but this could this combo will definitely hurt. So, and with this change, I think you're definitely going to be wanting to build heavier AP items. Probably want a death cap now. And so I think this definitely pushes, or this might push Malzahar more towards the mid lane role. We'll just have to see how the Voidlings feel and the amount of harassing you can do in lane. But yeah, interesting changes. Definitely quite a bit of burst with this combo now. For Ahri is one of the more consistent mid laners, and so they're nerfing her AP ratios, pushing it towards her charm, but I don't think this will impact her playstyle that much. One of her greatest strengths is still her ability, how quick or fast and safely she can push, and how far up she can play. And yeah, just the positions she can play in. And I don't think this will affect her too much. I think she'll still be an A tier champion, or an S tier champion, excuse me. For Caitlyn, we have a extremely strong ADC currently. They're nerfing the base attack speed, which is an important stat, down to 0.54, and the bonus attack speed is upped. Attack speed, this 0.625 staying the same. For the Hurricane headshot, there's an interaction so that Hurricane bullets no longer stack the headshot. Definitely a slight nerf, but I think Caitlyn with her kit in her range will definitely remain one of the stronger ADCs right now. Will definitely stay at S tier, I think. For Dr. Mundo, so for Dr. Mundo, they're giving some damage to the W because of the Sunfire change. So I think this stays about the same. Attack damage gross stat is up by 0.5, which is nice, but I think these changes overall don't push Mundo, or don't change Mundo too much. Probably still be in a similar spot. For Lee Sin, one of the best junglers, fits the meta extremely well. Definitely S tier, and now they're making it slightly better, or slightly easier to play on higher latency environments. So I think this is a nice change, being able to pull off cleaner combos. For Lucian now, we have Lucian, I even put him at S tier for mid lane, but it's, yes, better in certain matchups. But these mana changes hurt our mid lane Lucian a lot more than AD carry Lucian. I think AD carry Lucian will still be really strong, but since Lucian was already on the edge, I think we might move him down to A tier, especially there's some other slight indirect nerfs to Lucian coming up. For Malphite, we have Malphite A, 0.1 extra armor ratio on E, not too bad. Yeah, also because of the Sunfire. So I think these changes with Mundo just kind of fixed, don't change them too much. For Maokai, we have, so with Maokai, they're trying to push him more into the tankier role, push him out of the support role. They're changing the cooldown, so now the cooldown is reduced earlier, nice change. Base healing, however, was cut in half, but the scaling, because of the percent maximum health, was up by 0.25, or by 2.5 at max rank. So definitely benefits tank Maokai more, and this will definitely hurt support Maokai. This will also hurt the target maximum health was changed from 2, just cut in half, to 1, and the brush sapling was also nerfed. So I think this definitely hurts Maokai support, but I still think that role almost fits him best right now. I think we might still keep him at A, but yeah, they're definitely trying to move Maokai back to a stronger top laner. So for Renekton, we have, so in 7.9, I think the changes they made buffed him up by quite a lot, but then 7.10 brought him back down, and now we're back on like the 7.8 version, but I think that version was pretty strong, so I think we're gonna keep him at S tier. I think he'll still be good, just the amount of early pressure he can provide. For Sion, Sion's an interesting champ, could be played a lot of different ways. The cooldown was changed or buffed by by 2 seconds, really nice, and the shield scaling was increased by 2%. So nice change for Sion, and he already does pretty well with the extra armor or defensive stats you gain from the defensive items nowadays. So not bad for Sion. Syndra currently have an S tier. They're changing Force of the Will, so it's harder to set up her stun combo and also just align a Q with that extra range. So I think this balances the ability, and I think that's a good change for her. And I don't think it'll affect her playstyle. I think the range is still fairly long, and you'll still be able to hit it quite easily. For Yasuo, they're nerfing the amount of time you can hold the Q stacks, but I think 6 seconds is still a very long time, and I don't think it'll actually be too big of a change for him. I think, yeah, a lot of other champions have only 3 seconds for his stacking ability, so I think Yasuo with 6 will still be in a good spot. Zac has become one of the stronger junglers. His voice is becomes how squeaky it becomes has been lowered, and now there's the indicators earlier at 1 second before landing. So slight nerf to Zac, but I still think Zac will still be incredibly strong in this patch. For items, Abyssal Scepter was changed to Abyssal Mask. I think it looks pretty cool. So for Banshee's Veil, they're changing this item, so it's harder to build early, and a lot of the champions who are building early were actually more likely to be assassins, and now this will be more efficient for dealing with assassins and on mages, especially champions are scaling up, and it will just fit better into the 6 item slot. So slight nerf to assassins, but it's still not that bad. 300, it's still pretty efficient. So not a bad change for Banshees. Play the Rune King. Slight nerf, still extremely strong item. Helps with just the amount of sustain and the trading you can do is pretty great right now. So lifesteal is lowered by 3%, not bad. Guardian Angel looks good. For Ninja Tabby, they changed the basic attack damage reduction from 12% to 10%, but I still think Ninja Tabby is still one of the most, if not the most efficient armor item right now. I think it'll still be bought most of the time. The other options aren't that great, and I still think it'll be go-to item, especially compared to some of the other boots. Nomad's Medallion, slight buff. Yeah, a little more efficient, not bad. So now also it's easier to keep track of the minion kills. It's not a bad change, and this is a bigger change. So my favorite part, I wasn't expecting this, is that now no ban is an option, and I hope that this means that you can also you don't receive, or you're not dodged from champion select if you don't ban anything. This will make it a lot more likely that champion select goes through, and also that this whole process will be faster, and I think that's overall good. And with the amount of bans that there are, I think most of the required bans, like the most ban-worthy stuff, will still be banned. So overall, I like this change a lot. And yeah, I think that just about covers it. Yeah, please let me know if this is helpful, and thank you so much for watching.